Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan, this is Inside the Cave on 96.5 FM and 965thecave.com. Sports talk radio with a local angle, where we give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports, interview area coaches and players, and get you ready to start your day.
Good morning.
Now grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass, because it's time to go inside the cave.
Hey, good Monday morning, folks. John Roberts, Jeff Bowman with you here inside the cave.
How are you?
Good, you?
Good. I can't hear myself. I got to turn my headphones up. There we go. I'm doing well.
I am doing well also.
It's a good Monday morning.
Good Monday morning. Great weekend.
Yeah.
Lots of sports to talk about. We got a jam-packed show today, couple of interviews, all kinds of information.
Yes.
Particularly in the area of high school athletics. We're going to have Dan Terryberry, the football coach at Onstead High School, join us here at right around 7:40.
Yes.
And then later in the program around 8:25, we've got Andy Maines, the athletic director at Adrian High School. We're going to be having with us on the show. So we're going to cover a lot of high school sports today.
Yes, because since last we've spoken with anybody here inside the cave, MHSAA has decided to postpone.
Thank you.
Until spring.
There you go. They didn't cancel it.
Well, they canceled the fall season.
They canceled the fall season. They postponed it.
Of football, that is,
right,
so far. Everything else is still...
still a go, although not full go. And we're going to talk with Andy about that.
Yep. And then, again, Coach Terryberry is also... he's one of the representatives for the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association.
Yes.
Does that have like an acronym? Can you?
MHSFCA.
I know, but this, like.
I'm a lifetime member.
Are you?
I am.
But they don't say like the Mishka.
No.
The Mahofska.
No. They do not.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't, leaving anybody out by not calling it, something.
The MHSAA doesn't call themselves the Mahasa.
That's why I was just checking. I didn't want to make anybody feel bad if I wasn't,
No. Now, like the track coaches, they're MITCA.
Right,
MITCA.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was any
track and cross country, sorry.
Any kind of, thing out there like I was.
No.
Okay.
No. That doesn't exist.
All right, well, good then. I'm glad. Wow. So anyway, we will be talking with a couple different coaches this morning. Basically, that's the gist of it all.
Yes. Yes, we will.
So, anywho, hey.
Now for an Inside the Cave sports update.
Okay, I'm going there then. I was going to mention something, but that's all right. I'll mention it
during the update?
Maybe sometime
or
during
after.
that.
Okay, go.
It pertains kind of, sort of to something in here. But, again, a week ago today, high schools across the state could begin football practice, and a week later today, football fields will be vacant because of the MHSAA on Friday announced fall football was going to be postponed and hopefully pushed back to spring. And, again, we just mentioned that. We'll talk in depth with that.
I'm going to guess details sometime this week are going to come out about what that's going to look like.
Well, what are they saying? Wednesday they're supposed to announce something.
Some further guidance on football. Because right now you can still practice.
Right.
If you choose to.
Yes.
In just helmets.
Right.
Just which has got a lot of people scratching their heads.
Yeah. But we'll talk more because I know, like I said, Wednesday they're supposed to have an announcement of some sort. And then I know...
I know there's multiple plans that are being kicked around by both the Coaches Association and the MHSAA about what the rest of the year will look like with football inserted in the spring.
Yep. And that's the big thing right there. They're trying to figure out how they can insert it the easiest way.
Yes.
Without having a total disruption of the normal spring sports.
Correct. And the end of winter sports.
Right.
The ultimate goal, I believe, is to create as little overlap as possible. There's always overlap.
Right.
While you're playing in the basketball tournament, if you're a baseball player, they start practicing without you usually. I mean, so there is that overlap. I think the goal is to make it not any more than that overlap right there.
So they may, and so some of those other sports will probably be adjusted as well.
Exactly. In winter and spring.
Right.
Traditional winter and spring.
Right.
Probably.
Right. So, it'll be interesting to see.
Yes.
If even the basketball is going to be held at the Brez, the finals and stuff. Because you may change some dates. You may change some things.
Sure.
Some things may not be open like they were in the past.
But instead of the Breslin, you might go to the Chrysler Center or Chrysler Arena or I'd say the Palace, but it's not open anyway. Little Caesars Arena might be open that weekend.
Right, or you may
play there,
go to what's the place in Mount Pleasant called now?
Well, it used to be Rose Arena.
And I know, that's why I don't. Is it still?
I'm going to call it Rose Arena because it'll always be Rose Arena to me.
Is that where your daughter got her name from?
No. I don't know where I came. We just like the name
because you were there so often.
That's true.
Probably in the back of your mind somehow.
That's right. Yes.
She is
sitting along the baseline, throwing toilet paper,
thinking, "Man, when I have a kid,
this has just been such a great experience. I'm going to name my daughter after it."
Right?
No.
Okay. All right. Anyway, back to the headlines. Tigers are owned by the Indians. If you need proof, the Tribe swept the Tigers this weekend and have scored 20 wins in a row. I was hoping so much that when I came in this morning that I was going to be able to talk about the Tigers breaking that streak.
Well, maybe next weekend. Maybe next Monday. Because they play them again next weekend.
We can only hope.
All you got to do is win one.
I know. Part of the problem is on Sunday, the 8-5 Tigers loss was too much offense and home runs. Cleveland built 5 homers. After such an impressive start, the Tigers have lost 5 in a row and have slipped to 4th place in the AL Central with a 9-10 record.
They're struggling.
Just, we were all geeked. Man, they're 9-4 right now.
I'm going to tell you this, though, right now, and I know it's an abbreviated season. But on August 16th, if you'd have told me they were 1 game under 500, I'd have been happy. So let's not – I'm just taking this season for what it is, and I think they're a better ball club.
No, they are. I agree.
So, and that's all you can ask is that they're better than last year.
Well, and I tell you, Saturday I loved watching Gibby or listening, too about I love just his anecdotal stuff and the way he thinks as a manager in the booth. I really like that. But one thing, and watching Turnbull pitch.
Yeah.
That dude's got electric stuff, and it was so good, and there was so much movement, he couldn't control it. And that's one thing that, Gibby said that he's just got to figure out how to control some of that stuff because it moves so much that it's all of a sudden moving out of the strike zone when you think you're going to throw strikes. And so then you have to groove some things. But he looked good.
Yes, he did.
But Bieber is just ridiculous.
Yeah, Cleveland's a good baseball team.
They are.
They can hit the ball. What was the guy's name who hit the 500-some foot home run to straightaway center?
Jesus. Yeah. Which guy was that?
I don't know.
I don't know, but Lindor's
I'll
really
find out
good.
For us. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I'll find it.
They're a good team.
Yeah, they got good pitching.
Mm-hmm. Even when the two of their
Reyes.
Yes.
I forget his first name. Reyes. Franmil.
Yes, Franmil Reyes.
Yes. He hit one 500-plus feet to straightaway center field. It was a bomb.
That's a shot.
Yeah. We've seen some balls hit the straightaway center field over the years that are 400-something. This one was over 500.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they are, again, struggling a little bit.
Gonna happen.
Yeah, it is.
If it was a 162-game season, gonna happen. It's baseball. Everybody struggles at some point.
Right. They'll get it back.
Sure. They're gonna win They're gonna win maybe 10 more games, and Ian will be right. They're going to win more than that.
I think so.
I got bad news for Ian.
Yeah, I think so. But so now they take on the homer-happy White Sox, who set an MLB record Sunday with 4 straight homers.
Yeah.
You know, there's something about, and it's funny, it's a conspiracy theory out there, with no fans in the stands, the ball's going further.
Well,
There's been a lot of home runs.
there are a lot of home runs. And I think any other year, it might be a little bigger issue. I don't think anybody cares this year. We're playing baseball.
Well, and you wonder if these balls might be a little more juiced
Might
because
be.
they want people to hit some home runs.
Because that's what people want to see on TV.
Yes.
I mean,
Chicks dig the long ball.
people don't want to watch a lot of 2-1 baseball games.
No.
They just don't.
Right.
I mean, only the absolute baseball purist likes sitting through a bunch of 2-1 baseball games.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind them, but
I mean, I don't. Every once in a while, you can appreciate a well-pitched, good defensive game.
mm-hmm.
But I don't want to see that day after day after day,
no.
which is why they should get the pitcher out of the batting lineup in the National League.
Because you're liking this.
I am loving it. I can't imagine fans aren't loving it.
Yeah.
The majority of fans.
Okay. So, again, Boyd starts for the Tigers in the opener today against the White Sox.
Yep.
But Tigers have not announced who will pitch Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, leading to speculation. They might call up a couple of top pitchers, including top prospect Casey Mize. I don't know why they don't bring Mize up.
They'll do it when they're going to do it.
Mize,
They don't operate on yours and mine schedule.
Skubal, Manning. Why
Scooble,
not?
though, he might be still
Yeah, I
recovering a little bit. That might be he might be the last one brought up just
Right.
because he had that illness that set him back.
Yeah. But
So-
Manning, I mean, he's another guy that,
yeah,
you know, I mean, Castro's been so good, but he actually got hit up a little bit the other day. So
yeah.
Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields and others haven't given up on the Big Ten playing football this season, posting on Twitter an online petition, one of many, requesting Big Ten reverse its decision not to play last week. Player parent groups from Iowa, Ohio State, Penn State, and Nebraska have sent letters to the Big Ten Commissioner, Kevin Warren, asking for the conference to reverse course and seeking more transparency. But the NCAA has no jurisdiction over major college football, so the conferences have been left alone to make their own calls, which is very interesting. And again, it goes back to I'm wondering still, why make the decision when you did? And,
Yeah.
you know, now they're talking about some faster testing possibly and some cheaper testing.
Yep.
And
Courtesy of the NBA and the NBA Players Association.
right.
So who
So
funded a big part of it.
Right.
It's not totally them, but
So again, that's something that I think that was a little premature in their decision in doing that. But
yeah. Only time will tell.
yes,
As you look at the pictures of people coming back to school and various schools around the country, not a lot of social distancing going on.
no.
And cases of COVID on those campuses already, in many cases, are spiking.
Yes.
North Carolina, University of North Carolina, 4 clusters of positive tests within one dorm.
Wow, I didn't see that.
So it's
Oklahoma's
Oklahoma,
lets them go away for a week.
9
They come
players
back
tested
and-
positive.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's going to be interesting.
it's going to be interesting. Time will tell.
That's right. NASCAR Chase Elliott won the Cup Series road course race at Daytona by holding off hard-charging Denny Hamlin, following a late restart, notching his 3rd consecutive victory away from ovals. 24-year-old Elliott also won on road courses at Charlotte and at Watkins Glen last year. He got a bigger challenge than many expected down the stretch in his latest road course win. Hamlin finished 2nd, followed by Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. Kyle Busch had the best shot at catching Elliott, but defending series champion had rear brake issues. 17 laps to go and was forced to the garage for a lengthy repair. I watched the end of it. Hamlin was really charging hard on it.
Yes.
I like road course races.
It's okay. It's a nice little change up.
Yeah.
Test the skill of the driver in a different way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little, I like it.
And that's where I was going.
I wouldn't want to see it every week.
No, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I was actually, there was a road course. We have Xfinity at home, and part of the package you can get now, they have the Peacock channel at NBC.
Oh,
Kind of got
yeah.
their own streaming.
Yeah.
And I've discovered a show on there called Lost Speedways. And actually, it's Dale Jr. Following some history of NASCAR and stuff, and some
No
things
kidding.
from his dad and his grandpa. And he's finding these old speedways, and one of his buddies that is another kind of a ghost track guy, he called him.
Yeah.
They're going around and going to these speedways and seeing how they're lost. And actually, last night I fell asleep during part of it was they were in Augusta, Georgia area. This place had a drag strip, a quarter-mile oval, a 3-mile road course, and it had lakes in the middle of it. They were going to do some boat racing stuff in this thing. I mean, they were going to have – it was Augusta International Speedway, and it was going to be kind of like a paradise of motorsports.
Sure.
But so anyway, it's kind of cool looking at some of these old things. It's kind of neat in some of the history of some of these old drivers. There was one Asheville, North Carolina, I think it was last week. They showed an early picture of Ned Jarrett in a car, young Ned Jarrett,
Right,
and a very young Richard Petty. Petty's like trying to punch him through the door and stuff. But I mean, early NASCAR stuff.
Sure,
and it's pretty cool to see some of these old courses and then what happened to them and stuff. So it's kind of neat. NFL quarterback Alex Smith been activated off the PUP list by Washington. It's the latest step in remarkable recovery after his right leg was broken in 2 places during a game 2 years ago. Sunday's move means that Smith's now allowed to participate in Washington's padded practices when the team can move to that phase of training camp. He hasn't played since November of 2018. Again, he broke that thing in a couple places, then ended up having sepsis, which almost killed him.
yes.
He's had 17 surgeries. It is one of the – did you see that 30 for 30 – or not 30, the E60 on him?
Yeah.
That
was
was
one of those things on Sunday morning that make you tear up.
And one of the nastiest looking things at his leg.
Maybe worse than the Joe Theismann one.
Well, and looking at him in the hospital when he got infected was just, oh my God. And his leg looks deformed now from all the surgeries and the skin graft and the bones. Oh, it's just, but good for him. I mean, even have a shot. I mean, I
want to see him play this year.
I think it's a pretty crowded quarterback room right now, though.
I don't think he'll get cut.
You don't think so?
No. He might end up back on the PUP list.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Guy was the starter when he got hurt.
I know. But they've brought in a few quarterbacks over there.
Yeah. We'll see. Okay. I'd love to see him take a snap in a game this year.
I think so, too. I think with no preseason hurts.
Yeah.
As far as that goes.
Yeah, it hurts a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Helps a lot of guys, though, too.
Yeah, it does. It does. So we'll do this, and then I'll go to hockey. Jim Herman rallied to win the Wyndham Championship and a spot in the FedEx Cup playoffs. Capped his third victory by shooting 7 under 63. What a day.
It's a good day.
For a one-stroke victory over Billy Horschel. Herman overcame 4-stroke deficit in the final round and birdied on the 71st hole, finishing 21 under. Horschel had a 65, but on the 18th, he had an 8-foot birdie putt, and it slid left, and he parred it to lose by a stroke. Jerry Kelly won the Seniors Players Championship, a hole-in-one on the 12th at Firestone, sending him to a 169 two-shot victory, his first major on the PGA Tour Champions. On the LPGA Ladies, Stacey Lewis hold a long birdie putt to see off 3 rivals at the first playoff hole win the Ladies Scottish Open. The American won her first LPGA Tour title in nearly 3 years. I didn't realize we sent some Americans over there.
Yeah.
That's very interesting because they were
the travel issue. I didn't think we were allowed over there.
Without quarantining. That was
maybe she did. Maybe she didn't play in the last couple events in Toledo and quarantined over there so she could play over there. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you got some hockey scores?
I do. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue on. Results from yesterday. New York Islanders lead the Washington Capitals 3-0 in their series after a 2-1 overtime win. Dallas and Calgary also went to overtime. Dallas winning 5-4. That series tied 2-2. The Chicago Blackhawks got their first victory of their series against the Vegas Golden Knights with a 3-1 win. Philadelphia edges Montreal 1-0, and they lead that series 2-1. Vancouver leads their series 2-1, but they lost to St. Louis in overtime yesterday, 3-2. That's all the scores from the NHL, from the ice.
That's right. And then today, before we take a quick timeout, They start the playoffs today in the NBA.
Yes.
Utah and Denver, Brooklyn and Toronto, Philly at Boston, and Dallas and the Clippers all start today. And then tomorrow the matchups are Orlando, Milwaukee, Miami, Indiana, Oklahoma City, Houston, Portland, and L.A. So
NBA
could be interesting.
Could be. Will be interesting in some ways.
They've done a good job with this.
They and hockey both have done a great job. The bubble works.
It
I think you're going to see it in college basketball this year.
Yep.
At least come
The
tournament
bubble,
time.
and then women's, they call it the Wubble.
The Wubble
The women's NBA
in Salt Lake City.
No, they're in Bradenton. They're
Bradenton.
IMG.
Weren't they in Salt Lake City for a while?
That was the soccer stuff.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of the women's sports was in Salt Lake City.
All right, let's take a time out and we can talk maybe a little more Tigers
A little bit.
when we come back. Right here inside the Cave. Jeff Bowman, John Roberts, 96.5 The Cave.
Where Lenawee County tunes for sports. 96.5 The Cave.
Michigan's auto insurance laws are changing, and that means drivers have a lot to think about, right, Steve Hayes?
People are going to have to be hands-on on their auto insurance. They've got a lot of choices here. Bodily injury limits or your PIP choice. You're going to stay unlimited, or do you want to ramp it down?
But one thing hasn't changed. The local independent agents at Hayes Insurance Agency. They know the new laws inside and out. And whether you're one of their customers or not, they'll help you make an intelligent, informed decision.
It's not uncommon for us to take calls for 5 hours a day of just questions. I get a lot of paperwork that might be intimidating, and we walk them through it. We don't tell people what they should do. We're going to give them the option.
From the simplest questions to the most complex, count on Steve Hayes and his staff at the Hayes Insurance Agency.
I want to be the agent that has the most knowledge about these new laws.
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
Hayes Insurance, 423-8316.
Are your floors screaming for a makeover? If so, O'Connor & Sons Floor Covering in Tecumseh, with their combined 160 years of experience, wants to help. O'Connor & Sons sell and install many styles of floor covering. They have the area's largest selection of luxury vinyl tile and planks, which are completely waterproof. O'Connor & Sons also carries Cali Bamboo, which are the world's hardest floors. Pet problems? No worries. They have pet-proof carpet that is guaranteed against all pet stains. O'Connor & Sons Floor Covering on Russell Road in Tecumseh. Call them at 423-6170, or for more information, check them out on Facebook at O'Connor & Sons Flooring.
There's a lot of talk about germs, especially these crazy virus germs. We are aware and have a solution to stop them inside your vehicle. At Gary's Quick Lube, we are offering ViraGuard. The ViraGuard system is a dry fog disinfecting system that uses nanotechnology to disinfect deep within soft surfaces and cracks that liquids or mist just can't get to. For additional information, call us at 423-1412 or stop in and see us at 1360 West Chicago Boulevard in Tecumseh. Let Gary's Quick Lube clean your germs away.
Hi, this is Dennis from Abbey Carpet and Floor, and it's easier than ever to tap into the convenience of smart home technology during the Hunter Douglas Smart Shade Savings Event that's going on now through September 7th. Enjoy valuable rebates starting at $150 on qualifying purchases of Hunter Douglas motorized shades like insulating duet honeycomb shades or dramatic pirouette window shades or the revolutionary Sonnet cellular roller shades, all equipped with the advanced wireless technology of PowerView motorization. Using this smart technology, the associated smart hub, and the mobile devices you use every day, you can easily program your motorized shades to move automatically to the scenes and schedules you set. Plus, PowerView integrates easily with some of the most popular home automation systems, intelligent shades, and smart savings. Connect with rebates now through September 7th. Limitations and restrictions apply, so ask us for details. Abbey Carpet and Floor, America's choice in floor fashion since 1958.
Concerned about what's in your food for your reptiles or fish? At Red Mill Pet Supplies, we research where our food comes from, so you don't have to. Our large, healthy adult crickets are always brought in from a good source and are stored in a clean environment. We also stock regular and giant-sized mealworms. For your small animals, fish, reptiles, and birds, all your pets need for a healthier, happier life can be found at 1111 West Chicago Boulevard, across from McDonald's in Tecumseh, and on Facebook at Red Mill Pet Supplies.
The Springs BP on West US 223 near Onstead Highway is your locally owned one-stop convenience store. The Springs BP Beer Cave is fully stocked and has a huge selection of craft beer along with all of the standards. If you're looking for something a little different, they have a variety of prepared cocktails and drink mixes plus state minimum prices on their huge selection of liquor. The Springs BP also has propane tank exchanges, fishing licenses, and bait. So if you're headed to the lake for the weekend or just heading home, make sure you stop and shop at the Springs BP.
As you feel the blades of grass tickle your bare feet, a subtle breeze stirs the green leaves overhead. There you are, sipping a cold drink, admiring the beauty and solitude of your own landscaped backyard. The realization has set in. Calling Sealers Landscape and Design was the best and easiest decision you've ever made. Their 3D design program brought your paradise to life. Now for the tough decision. Where to put the hammock. Call Sealers Landscape and Design at 442-4823 for a free estimate today.
And welcome back inside the cave. Jeff's busy, no chair dancing today. What do you got going over there, Jeff?
Things.
Did
you see the email I sent you? Probably not, because you didn't comment about it.
I haven't checked my email yet.
This was from the other day. Over the weekend.
I don't know. Tigers.
Yeah. I sent you a story about a tiger. Because I heard Gibby talking about it.
I don't see that. You sure you sent it to me?
I did.
Okay.
I emailed it to you.
All right, I'll look it up during the next break.
But it's one of these, I can't even read the cotton thing because I'm not it's a free press thing now.
I know, you got to subscribe to everything now, don't you?
Goodness gracious.
Yep.
I read it at home.
Well.
Now I can't get to it. Anyway, it was a story about Darrell Evans being probably one of the most underrated free agent
I read
signings.
that, actually.
Yeah.
I actually read it.
Dow was talking. I mean, he's got his little "Where Are They Now" stories and stuff. So it was pretty good because Gibby was talking about it on there. And it was pretty interesting because that was a great pickup.
Oh, yeah. He was a free agent, right? They signed him as a free agent. Back in the day when the Tigers didn't sign a lot of free agents. He might have been one of the first, maybe the first. No, Tito Fuentes was the first free agent they signed.
Gotta love Tito.
Little bat flip.
Yeah. Oh, man, at home plate.
I'm pretty sure he was the first free agent, the big money free agent, not like free agent because he got cut by everybody else kind of guys.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Well, we'll have to get our research staff on that.
Yes, I'm trying quickly.
So, Tigers.
Yeah, just a tough weekend.
Yeah, man. It was tough to pick 3 stars. You probably didn't do it, did you? You didn't do your homework, did you, Jeff?
I didn't do my homework on that.
Jeff.
I got my winners and losers.
Oh, well, so you get partial credit?
Hold on. Okay, before we go any further, my daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughter moved back home this weekend.
You do have a lot of family stuff going on. I'll give you a little slack.
So,
because I could potentially have a lot of family stuff going this weekend, so I might need a little slack from you.
I got to spend some time with my granddaughter that just moved back.
Yes.
Well, just moved here. She's never lived here.
I get it.
So there was a little bit of that going on. And yesterday we had the other grandbaby together and all had
I get it. Yeah.
dinner yesterday and everything. So I was viewing from afar. Saturday night, though, I watched the game. Actually, my mom's not been feeling real well, so I went over and took her some dinner. And, she's 80-something. And we're watching the Tigers.
Yeah.
And I had to laugh because one of her we're watching. I mean, she knows these players and stuff.
Sure,
she's with that stuff and watching every game, and she's excited.
Yeah,
but she's like, "Boy, those Astros haven't been playing that well, though, and they don't know what pitches are coming." And I was laughing when my mom said that. That was a great comment.
Yeah.
But she's right.
She's not wrong.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So anyway, yeah, it's just tough. But again, we played a good team.
Yeah. They're 13-9. They're, right in the I don't think they're in first. Aren't the Twins still in first? 14-8.
Yeah.
So they're basically tied for first with the Twins.
Who? The Indians?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute.
Not the Tigers.
I was like,
they're in fourth place now.
Well, I pulled up the Toes in the Water, a history of the Tigers in free agency. This was from 2019. So talk a little Tigers, and I'm trying to find something.
So, it was not a good day. Some individual guys had a good weekend, though. I mean, there were guys, I thought. I mean, Candelario continues to hit the ball.
He does. And he's playing a decent first base.
After playing a really good third base.
Yeah.
So, I know a lot of people were on him early in the year when he was like 0 for whatever the first week.
Yeah. It took him a while to get a hit.
Yeah, it did. But now he's kind of settled in. I mean, so he had a decent weekend. One day he went 2 for 4. Yesterday he might have gone 2 for 4 again yesterday. I'd have to look at the box score. But he's hitting the ball hard. I mean, 2 for 4 again yesterday.
Okay.
So, he had a pretty good weekend. Now, he might have gone 0 for 3 or 4 at the middle game, but still, 4 for 12 in a weekend, that's 333. You do that your whole career, you're probably in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, you probably are.
I mean, you got to hit some home runs and drive in some runs, too, but.
Well, and what was it? Maben hits the home run the other night. Now the Tiger hit him and
he got kicked out of the game yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's barking at the home plate umpire.
He was not happy.
Well, he says he was talking to the first base coach, but the umpire wasn't buying that.
No, but what he got in the record books for hitting home runs in, was it 3 different decades, or what was his story?
I don't know. I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
You caught me off guard here.
Okay, let me pull that up.
You look that one, too.
But you were right. Fuentes was
Tito. I remember it.
77.
He only played for them for a couple years, I think.
Yeah.
I think they signed him from the Giants, maybe.
I'll look real quick, but I'm checking on Cameron Maben.
Historical record.
Yes.
But Victor Reyes, he's hitting the ball pretty well. There's some guys that are having good seasons. I mean, they're struggling a little bit right now, but they're still got guys that are playing pretty well for them. Gregory Soto continues to look good out of the bullpen.
He does.
I mean, the 7th inning.
That's his.
It pretty much is. And if they could find a consistent 8th inning guy, I think Jimenez is doing okay this year. He's not still. Will the Tigers ever have that guy that's just a lockdown closer?
No. I mean, they haven't.
Well,
Hernandez.
Papa Grande. Guy didn't blow a save all year.
Yeah, I know.
But it was interesting sometimes how he got to those saves.
See, I go back to,
Willie Hernandez.
Yes. John Hiller before him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
So the home run for Cameron Maben. He's now the 9th player in Tigers history to hit a home run in 3 different decades.
For the Tigers.
Yep.
Because he started with the Tigers as a
Ty Cobb.
rookie.
Ty Cobb, 1900s, 10s, 20s. Charlie Gehringer, 20s, 30s, 40s. Vic Wirtz, 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Not to be confused with Don Ward.
No. K-Line, 50s, 60s, 70s. Gibby, 70s, 80s, 90s. Tram, 70s, 80s, 90s. Lou, 70s, 80s, 90s. Miggy, 1000s, 10s, 20s. And Cameron Maben, 1000s, 10s, and 20s.
Huh.
Yeah, you would not think you would put Cameron Maben in that home run history thing.
No.
Because he's not a guy that's known as
a power hitter.
No.
Although I remember when he was coming up, he's a 5-tool player.
Oh, yeah.
5-tool guy. 5-tool guy. I think he lost some tools in the toolbox at some point.
Yeah. But, again, they got some time to still have some time to get some things figured out.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm taking this season for what it is. If they play they're playing 500 baseball.
Right.
If they play 500 baseball and at the end of this thing they're 30-30,
mm-hmm.
they're going to be in the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, if you would have said, now I don't think they'd have gone 500 over a 162-game schedule, but over a shortened season, if you said, they're going to play 500 baseball, take it.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Right. So, Tito
Fuentes.
You're right. Giants.
Yeah.
So, 1977, Ralph Houk realized he didn't have a starting second baseman.
Was it Gary? I think because it was like Gary Sutherland before him.
There was
going way back in Tigers stuff
little
here.
Chuck Scrivener, converted shortstop, who spent 8 years in the minors for a reason he couldn't hit. Then there was Mark Wagner. Tigers also had veteran Puerto Rican infielder Luis Alvarado. So across the field, it said in Lakeland, Houk could see 19-year-old Lou Whitaker, slim second baseman with a rocket arm, but the consensus was that he needed another season in the minors. So on February, Campbell pulled out the checkbook, paid $90,000 for free agent Tito Fuentes.
$90K.
It was surprised it was filled as short term. Fuentes had escaped Cuba during the Revolution, found his way to the Giants, where he played second. He was 33 years old. His last good season was the only year with the Tigers. Batted .309 in 150 games, kept second warm for Lou, and in September, Whitaker and his double play buddy Alan Trammell arrived, and Fuentes' days were numbered. So
yeah, I remember he had a good season for the Tigers. I mean,
.309 in 150 games?
That's not all bad. You'd take that every year out of your second baseman.
Heck yeah. And then after that, basically, Evans was in 1984 was
the next one,
the next big signing.
That's amazing to me. There were teams back then that were throwing hundreds of K at players. They weren't throwing millions at them yet, I don't think.
No. Evans signed a 3-year deal in 84 worth $2.8 million.
He must have re-upped then, because 84, 85, 86, 87, he was still at the team when they won the East.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, the Tigers re-signed him prior to the 87 season.
Yeah.
When he hit the free agent market again.
You know, there was a
guy.
guy.
In 88. Then Tony Phillips in 1990.
Yeah.
Cecil in 1990. Here we go, 91. Rob Deere and Bill Gullickson.
Two fairly productive guys for the Tigers.
Yeah.
I mean, not great players, but productive.
Yeah.
I mean, Deere hit a lot of home runs. Struck out a lot.
First season wearing the old English D, he hit 25 home runs. He hit 179 and struck out 175 times.
Yeah. More than once a game.
He was a master at the 3 true outcomes, either hitting a homer, walking, or striking out in half his plate appearances with the Tigers.
Yeah.
Gullickson won 20 his first year. He was supposed to replace Jack Morris.
He had some good years with the
But after that 20-win season, he was pretty awful. He had an ERA over 5 his last 3 years.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Dan Gladden in 92 they signed.
He was kind of like Rob Deere, but
away from the
just
Twins.
Smaller. A lot of home runs.
Yeah.
Struck out a lot.
Mike Moore in 93. Tigers gave him 33-year-old $10 million over 3 years, and he posted a 5.9 ERA with a 29-34 record.
Yeah, that's a bad free agent signing.
Yep. Gibby in 93.
They brought him back. Yeah. He was pretty much done by then.
Eric Davis in 94.
Really? Boy, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
That was the dark years.
He
of
missed
the Tigers,
a year due to
the
his
90s.
Battle with cancer and came back to play well after beating disease, but for other teams, is what the story says.
Yeah.
He played well, but for other teams. Vince Coleman in 97.
Really? Vince Coleman was a Tiger.
He went 1 for 14 in 6 games.
What was I doing in the 90s?
1997.
Playing with my kids.
1 for 14 in 6 games.
That's why I don't remember. We played 6 games with the Tigers.
Well, it was a Randy Smith move.
Holy smokes.
Luis Gonzalez. Oh, my God, what a lineup. 30-year-old outfielder. The Tigers put him in their lineup with Damian Easley, Tony Clark, Bobby Higginson. He had a nice season, so of course Randy Smith traded Gonzalez to the Diamondbacks for Kareem Garcia.
Huh.
And then Luis Gonzalez had a really good career with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that was a bad trade.
Yes, it was.
Ended up driving in the winning run when the Diamondbacks beat the Yankees.
Yeah.
I remember in the 2000 World Series.
Yeah. Actually, I saw him out in Vegas one time. Dean Palmer. Wow.
Good hitter.
Hideo Nomo, Randall Simon, Steve Avery.
Taylor's own.
It says
Steve Avery.
15 years too late. Yeah. Fernando Vina, Rondell White, Pudge.
Pudge was a good signing.
Kenny Rogers.
So was he.
Next one of my favorite signings, Sean Casey.
The mayor.
That was in sync. All right, let's take a time out so we can call Dan Terryberry because we got a lot to talk to.
Yeah, we
with
got stuff.
him.
We do.
Good stuff. So we'll be back with more Inside the Cave right here on 96.5 The Cave.
We're not just fair weather fans. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Whoa! Gross!
Hey, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. 96.5 The Cave.
Everybody huddle up. Here's the play. If you wear any kind of screen printed item, go to ProMed Uniform and get your company logo, school spirit wear, fundraiser events, family reunions, any screen printing needs. If you need custom embroidery, go to ProMed Uniform and get your varsity jacket, company logo, corporate apparel, or just that special embroidered item. Score! Let's repeat that play. Nobody can beat it. ProMed Uniform is Lenawee County's premier embroidery and screen printing destination. All screen printing and embroidery is done in-house. ProMed Uniform is where quality work and the best pricing in Lenawee County come together. Please support local businesses and shop ProMed Uniform for all your screen printing and embroidering needs. T-shirts, varsity jackets, corporate apparel, screen printing, embroidery. ProMed Uniform, 937 West Beecher in Adrian.
Wouldn't it be sweet to have an endless supply of Culver's fresh frozen custard always at the ready? Just do what we do. Start each day by pouring fresh dairy into your precise temperature-controlled custard machine. Trust me, once you have one, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Adjust flow to produce creamy ribbons of frozen custard. And lastly, and this is the best part, do the spoon test to ensure smooth texture. Yum!
Better yet, come to Culver's and leave the whole frozen custard made throughout the day thing to us. Welcome to Delicious.
Hi, my name is Janie Navarro. I'm a realtor with Excel Realty. I am fluent in Spanish and love assisting the Hispanic community. Call or text me anytime so I can assist you in buying or selling a home. Buenos días, mi nombre es Janie Navarro. Soy una agente de real estate con Excel Realty. Puedo ayudarles con la compra y venta de su casa. Me encanta ayudar a mi comunidad España. Sé que puede ser difícil si no habla inglés. Llámame o mándame un texto y estaré lista para asistirles. 403-4215.
I found us a place that wants to hire a few good employees. That's us.
Wait, does it pay well?
It does, and we can get meals and discounts on all kinds of things. The hours are flexible. They even offer scholarships, insurance, and a retirement plan.
Sounds too good to be true.
Nope, it's true.
McDonald's offers a wide variety of job and career opportunities from crew member to management. We're hiring for both our North and South Main locations in Adrian and at our Hudson Meridian Road McDonald's.
I'm Stan the Man I Am, and I have to say it feels quite warm outside today. But summer thunderstorms are now the norm, and older roofs can spring leaks. Pesky roof leaks can creep and seep and make your walls and ceilings weep. Flat roofs are steep. The cats in the blue hats at Diversified Roofing can fix that straight away. Call 1-800-668-1928 today, and we'll make those leaks all go away. With Diversified's fair rates, rebates, and financing that's great, that's 1-800-668-1928. You won't get taken for a ride when you call Diversified. We're Master Elite certified and GAF roofing that's tried and true. We're state licensed and fully insured too. Your roof's installed professionally with honesty and pride when you call Diversified at 1-800-668-1928. Here's our website too for you. For Stan the Man and the Cats in the Blue Hats, that's DiversifiedRoofingLLC.com. Again, that's DiversifiedRoofingLLC.com.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle on Inside the Cave. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 96.5 FM. We give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports. Interview area coaches and players. And get you ready to start your day.
Sweet, man.
Grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave. Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
And welcome back Inside the Cave. John Roberts, Jeff Bowman along with you here. And we have a special guest with us this morning. Coach Terry Berry, you there?
What'd you do now, John?
I don't know.
Goodness. Did you pull him up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach Terry Berry, you there?
John hung up on him, must be.
No. I did not drop the call.
Well, we're supposed to have Coach Dan Terryberry.
All right, we're gonna. You talk while I try to get him back.
Okay. Yeah. Again, Coach Terryberry is the Onstead head football coach. He's also part of the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association, and with that, he want to chat with him so we can get a little side of what's been going on the side of the Football Coaches Association, because they are, they were working hard with the MHSAA and others trying to get things figured out so that way this could kind of move forward and try to get some things done, because he's Region 10 director. But again, we wanted to chat with him because one of the things he was saying too was, what they were trying to do is, working with them, with the MHSAA, and trying to get it figured out. Are we back?
I believe we are.
There we got Dan. Now I can hear him in the background.
There? Yeah.
It's all John's fault. We blame everything on John Roberts here.
You there, Coach?
John, what are you doing now? We barely can hear you. There we go. We got you.
All right.
It's John's, when you're an administrator and educator for so long, running a radio thing is problematic for some people. Well, look at that. Look, if you could see the look I'm getting right now, Dan, it's amazing.
I can hear you, Jeff.
Yes, you can hear me. But again, Coach, it's good to talk to you this morning. Again, being on the director for the area for the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association, correct?
Yeah. On board, and obviously we've been trying to put a lot of work in to try to get our season in, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, that's one of those things I know on your side, working real hard, and you see so many other schools or other, the states around you that are doing things, and I guess that's probably one of the harder things when you look just across the border in both Indiana and Ohio. They're actually going to be putting some pads on and hitting people, and we've now pulled the plug until the spring.
Yeah, there was a lot of proposals out there, and I know it was getting to the point where they were looking at not playing the first couple of games, and then starting maybe week 3. But there's also some positives you might be able to take out of this, which it's hard to imagine right now. But if we were going to play, say that week 2 or week 3 game, there wasn't going to be anybody there in the stands.
Right.
So we were going to be playing with no one there, no band, no cheerleaders. That's probably how we were going to start. It was looking like, and so you're going to ask kids, to practice for a month in pads and not play a game until week 3. And I know that was part of it. But I know there's a lot of other factors, coming from Lansing and, how they felt where we should be going. And there's just a lot of information out there, in social media now. And Mark Ewell for the MHSAA, that man has put in so much time and tried to make all the hats in Lansing happy.
Right.
And some people don't understand what he's done, and he's tried to do for our association, and people out there that are, bashing him. They need to understand that that man's probably not slept. And he's contacted our board. He's contacted Lansing. He's been, all over the place trying to find a good middle ground, and it's just, it didn't work out. And if you listen to his, announcement, you can hear his voice, how getting choked up because of, how awful he feels.
Well, and Dan, one of the things that, maybe some of our listeners don't know, he's the parent of a senior football player. So, he comes at it from that angle. He comes at it as the executive director of the MHSA. And, many years ago, he was a coach. So he gets the sport of football. He understands the sport of football and what it means to communities across the state of Michigan.
Yeah, he has. I mean, John there knows. Robert's from coaching football. I mean, he just in the year he's been there, I mean, what he's already done, like adding the fifth quarter,
right,
for our kids. Expanding. We're looking at changing our camp times for next year, allowing for, you have a wider range that you're allowed to do stuff in the summer. He wants the best for our kids in our state. He's improved it. And it's just a hard time. It's a hard pill to swallow for everyone. But at this point, we just need to know that he did his best in our association. We've tried to work out the best thing we can for our guys, and appreciate all the time that Mark's put in.
And echoing that statement, Dan, I think that's going to continue to happen to make the spring portion of the sport as successful as it can possibly be for kids and coaches and, hopefully fans by that point as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I don't know. This year just, don't wish your life away, they say, but this 2020 stuff's got to go.
Yeah. We wouldn't mind wishing this one away, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's like, I just hope that, in the spring it's going to be that we can get our fans, and it might be, 7 games, a different playoff thing or
right.
options. And I know that they've got a few different plans, and we've discussed one. And but if you're a kid, you want people out there at the game.
Sure.
You want your family out there to enjoy it. So I think that they can come up with something. Hopefully, that'll work well. And I was telling my son, I was like, well, it's going to be the opposite of football season. It's going to start nice and end bad. Now we're going to start cold and get warmer as we go. So
right, and it makes me think, Dan, of when we went through the season switch about 10, 15 years ago. Some of those sports that like a tennis or a golf, for example, that the way their seasons weather-wise went was totally flipped. And so football's going to be kind of in that boat this year.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's, you're kind of in that spring season weather, and in the beautiful state of Michigan, you don't know what you're going to get in March 12th.
But I do think it is a little easier to maybe play a football game in some of that weather than you can't play a baseball game when
right.
you're, there's water all over the ground and puddles at shortstop and second base where you can play football on it. So, I mean, that's one thing that, when you think about having to switch it some is, that weather is still a little more conducive to football than some of the nasty weather when it starts for some of the early spring games for softball and baseball. But, the other thing that, when you said there's a couple positives, Dan, John wrote the other day and was talking about how there's a possibility now where some people could play 4 sports if they really wanted to, and pick up a sport where, hey, I've never ran cross country, I never played soccer because it was always during football. There's times now where some of these people can actually maybe pick up a different sport because of the fact of maybe the way these things are falling.
Yeah, it is possible. I mean, I talked with our AD, Mr. Hiram, and he was asking about that. You know, if I'd let kids play soccer, I'm like, yeah, I just want kids to be active. I mean, I think we're going to be able, Wednesday announcement, I think there's going to be a practice schedule set and what will be allowed also. So I think, you know, we'll be able to continue doing certain things. You know, we're meeting, our association's meeting tonight to kind of talk about what possible things to do. You know, you might be able to get a one team 7-on-7 in there, maybe, who knows? But I also know that, you know, well, how much are they going to allow if they're not actually going to let us play? So,
well,
I mean, I expect this not to be in full pads at all and things like that. But
right, and at the same time,
your question, yeah, they could go out and play soccer now or whatever.
Yeah, because at the same time, I know that, you know, going to have some practice, but I know most coaches are not going to limit somebody and say, well, you got to practice with me now in the fall, and you can't play something else. You know, you want your kids to play and be a part of something. So I know, you know, most of you guys aren't going to hold back.
Get off the couch.
Right.
Well, and you know, even if they're not working on football, they're still competing. They're still being physically active, and you know, a lot of people are concerned about kids' emotional state, and you know, the fact that they're competing, even though it may not be football, might be what's best for that kid, you know, mentally and emotionally.
So, yeah, I agree, John. Yeah, it's just that, you know, that's for me, you know, and I think a lot of coaches understand that. You know, parents or people talk about sometimes, I want them to just play this one sport. Well, that's the worst thing. Get out there and play whatever you can and go compete. You know, go compete with other and be part of a team and go do stuff. So yeah, I mean, we want our kids to get out there and do what they can and be active, and it's good for them either way. And right now, emotionally, these kids need it. That's why, you know, they have to be doing something, and hope we have to be allowed to at least do something with them practice-wise, or get these guys like out running cross-country or play soccer, or, you know, other things that are going on. So,
hey, Dan, we're up against it. Do you want to stay through till the top of the hour? We can come back and talk a little more. We'll be back with more with Dan Terryberry right after this here inside the Cave.
You'll hit a home run every time with Hayes Insurance Agency.
Their team of independent agents will cover all the bases
and find you the right policy at the best price.
For your car, your home, your business, whatever you need.
Hayes Insurance, serving residents of Lenawee County and beyond for over a half-century.
Call 517-423-8316.
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
Or visit HayesINS.com. In 1968, Tigers great Jim Northrup hit 2 grand slams in one game.
And ever since, the Hayes Insurance Agency has been hitting grand slams for all its customers in Lenawee County and beyond.
For your car, your home, your farm, your business, count on Hayes Insurance Agency.
On Occidental Highway between Adrian and Tecumseh.
Call 517-423-8316.
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
Or visit HayesINS.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Basham, the new service manager at Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton. This month we are offering special pricing on oil changes, 10% off any brake service, and savings on our BG air conditioning system deodorizer and performance enhancer. Remember, the Suburban Care program gets you 3 oil changes, 3 tire rotations, and 3 multi-point inspections for one low price. Busy schedule? We offer full service on Saturdays from 8 until 2, and also a fleet of loaner vehicles with a reservation. Get your vehicle ready for summer at Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton.
We can find you the next pre-owned vehicle you're looking for right here. Hi, I'm Ricardo Velasquez with Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton. With so many vehicles available through the Suburban collection, if you don't see the right vehicle for you on our lot in Clinton, we have access to hundreds more. Suburban also offers many financing options to help fit your budget. Come on in and find your next new or pre-owned vehicle right here on the corner of M52 and US 12. Make the choice at the home of the lifetime warranty, Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton.
This is Pam Campbell, Superintendent of Columbia Schools. Columbia Central High School has a focus on STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. The caring teachers at Columbia make a difference for our students. Many students enjoy STEM courses in forensic science, sports medicine, and engineering. High school students take advantage of our advanced placement courses and early college program. Columbia School District, from preschool and early fives through high school and adult education. Learning today, leading tomorrow. Visit us at myeagles.org.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle on Inside the Cave. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 96.5 FM. We give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports. Interview area coaches and players and get you ready to start your day.
Sweet, man.
Grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave. Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
The best in regional sports from Southeast Michigan. WLEN Adrian, HD2, W243AD, 96.5 The Cave.
96.5 The Cave. Lenawee County Sports. Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. This is Inside the Cave on 96.5 FM and 965thecave.com. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle, where we give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports, interview area coaches and players, and get you ready to start your day.
Good morning.
Now grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave.
And welcome back. Hour number 2, Inside the Cave this morning. Jeff Bowman, John Roberts with you here, along with Onstead High School head football coach Dan Terryberry. Coach, you still with us?
You betcha.
All right.
Thanks, John.
So
I didn't mess it up during the break on the board here.
No, Dan. So I imagine, again, being going back to some of the processes of being, a director with the High School Football Coach Association and dealing some with the MHSAA. I know you said there's a lot of different things bandied about out there, and I know come Wednesday they're supposed to have some kind of announcement. So are you guys still talking and trying to break some things down now and trying to figure out what the heck may happen from from Wednesday on?
Yeah, so we're meeting tonight, our association, to talk about what's been said and what possibilities are coming, and then our rep Brad Bush works hand in hand, and Jason Mensing, rep for the MHSAA. They'll try to figure out exactly what we can do at that point on Wednesday. Teams can practice today and tomorrow still, just helmets, and then Wednesday we'll get more. We're actually not practicing the next 2 days. Because when I heard it, I just said, all right, well, we're going to meet tonight with our team, and they're going to do some equipment type stuff, but they're, we're not. I'm waiting till Wednesday to see what they say, and then we're going to go from there. But who knows what it can be? I know that like John said earlier about emotionally these kids need to do stuff. We're going to be allowed to do some things, but then you're going to have to walk that fine line. As a head coach, I'm thinking, okay, I want to get these kids out and doing stuff, but I'm definitely not going to have a 3-hour normal practice. We're not going to hit. I mean, that's tiresome. So, we'll get out and do some things, 4 days a week or something like that, depending on what's allowed, and we're just going to go from there.
Well, and I think some of it too, Coach, we talked about the mental portion of it. You're in the building at Onstead with your players, but a lot of coaches maybe aren't in the building. So being able to meet with your kids once or twice a week or whatever the number ends up being, I think that's going to be important because it's a way to check in with your kids and see how you're doing and, things you kind of would normally do in the off season through the weight room or something like that.
Yes, because that's always okay, so now we got to wait till spring, and I got to make sure all these kids are doing what they need to be doing in the classroom.
Exactly.
And what they're staying out of trouble, and they're making sure they don't get lax in their classes and stuff like that. But yeah, being in the building helps a lot, and getting these kids and in the schools. And I know there's schools out there I feel really bad for. I mean, if you're an all virtual school and you're coaching and you're getting your kids, you've got to find a way to get them together. You've got to find a way to meet with them and check in with them. If you're and no head football coach out there wants to do Zoom meetings, every week. And
no,
that's just not that's not what we're doing. What we're due for. We want to, talk to kids and be face to face and have a relationship with them. And it's hard to have a relationship with your players when you're, talking on a computer. So yeah, we definitely want to get there and make sure you're checking in and meeting with them.
Well, and you being also a track coach is going to be very interesting come next spring with some of your double duties with football kind of mixing in there, going straight into a track scene as well. It's going to be a very fun time for all of your, extracurriculars.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I haven't even thought about that. Thanks, Jeff.
Dan, I do what I can.
And of course, Dan, you read a lot on, social media and, how's this all going to work? And I think the biggest thing is we don't know the details yet. We just know it's going to be in the spring. And what months does spring mean exactly? Does that mean, we don't know. Is it February, March, April? Is it March, April, May? And I think that depends on how they're going to work with the, slide the domino of football in among all the other dominoes of, the end of winter sports, but the beginning of traditional spring sports. And how is that all going to mesh? We don't know at this point. There's a lot of concerns, obviously, about weather, especially in the northern part of the state. If we're practicing in February, how does that work? There's a lot of questions, and I know, that the Coaches Association and the MHSAA, through the representatives, are certainly working through those to provide the best solution possible.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. I mean, there's a fine line because you don't want your baseball players playing in playoffs and after July 4th. So
right,
we want to get it at some point to balance. So there's going to have to be a little bit of sacrifice on a few games. But I think if it's if we're looking at the beginning of March, it's the start. I think that's where they're looking at, right around that first or second week. That's what's been talked about most, and then you're playing 7 games out of your 9, so. But that's going to be a figure out where we're exactly at, when we get to November and December, and because I think it's still going to be a little bit before they come out with that schedule. Because if it's going to affect basketball, then basketball or wrestling and all them, and what we'll have to see where that affects those, because I think the MHSA is going to have to decide that before their season starts. So.
Well, and they may make a determination to slide winter sports a little earlier to start rather than how most start in November. They may start in late October now, because if you're a soccer player, for example, in the fall, soccer's pretty much wrapped up by mid-October, so you could conceivably move basketball and wrestling and those things a little bit forward. Volleyball and girls basketball could be a little bit of an issue, but it's going to take some creative calendars, and the boys and girls calendars may not look the same for 1 year. So it'll be real interesting.
Yeah. Doesn't it make you just want to go back and be an AD right now?
No. In our next segment, we're going to ask the AD those questions.
Exactly. But
I know those. That's going to be crazy times right now for all that stuff coming up, and I mean, right now watching the girls volleyball, teams practice outside in our baseball outfield. I mean, it's kind of interesting. It's just like, oh boy, they're not even in the gym yet. So it's, I don't know, but I know that there's a lot of disappointment, from people, from players, coaches, and it's hard. But at this point, okay, this has happened. Let's figure out what's the next step, and then we can't cry over spilled milk. We got to move on, and that's what we're trying to get across to our guys. It's like, okay, well, this is part of it, and who knows what's going to happen with these other states that are playing. I mean, you've heard, or teams in Michigan, we can't work out this week because we had 3 kids test positive.
Right.
I mean, what if that's week 3 of our season?
Right.
We just forfeited our game.
Right.
So I mean, I know. I mean,
because with football, you're not rescheduling it for a later date. that game's either canceled or it's forfeited, or you're not playing it 2 weeks later. It's not like baseball where you can make it up.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand that part. I mean, I'd rather be out there playing and take our chance and go from there. But I don't know. Maybe it's just meant to be and to move on. So I know it'd just be interesting. For us, our state, it'll be interesting to see how Ohio and Indiana do once they start playing, because there's going to be a lot of, hey, look what happened, and we got kicked back. So,
and like you said, only time's going to tell where this all ends up.
That's right. You're listening to Inside the Cave this morning, 96.5 The Cave. Jeff Bowman, John Roberts, along with Onset High School football coach Dan Terryberry. And two things on it, Dan. One, you talk about somebody getting, if a couple cases come down, like Clinton last week has to, stop because they had the one player. And that's the one thing that was kind of out there was, what was the protocol going to be with that one or two players? Can you quarantine them and contract tracing back to, who you're with, and if you have to shut that whole week down. And I think that's where I think that there was just so many unknowns still with that, because, I mean, you don't want to start a season 2 and then all of a sudden you got to cancel it halfway through.
Yeah, that was going to be hard, because then we aren't starting up in the spring. If we're who knows if they're, well, I guess I should say I don't know if we would.
Right.
But, if we're week 4 and all of a sudden a massive, something happens, I don't know if the MHSA is going to say, okay, we're going to play the next 4 games, in April, or how that all might work out. So, that was just the unknown in the year of 2020 in the history books.
Well, I think the word of the day, which is going forward to the word of the rest of this year, is going to be patience. I think that everybody can be mad about so many things with this, but it's not one person's fault, and as you said, with what Mark Ewell was trying to do with the MHSAA, you can't just blame him and say, okay, man, we're so mad at them. Everybody's trying to do what they can, and I think it's just this patience thing that people are just going to have to just kind of relax a little bit and go, okay, how is this going to – we don't know how it's all going to play out. Let's go along with it and be patient with it and say, okay, let's make the best of however we can make this move forward, because we don't know for sure how it's going to happen.
Exactly. It's scary, and it's when you get told the powers in Lansing, and they just feel like you're not going to be able to have the season. Mark's kind of in that point where, well, this is the way it's going to be. So it's just there's no winners at this point, the way I see it. We're just all going to roll with what's happened and try to make the best of our next step in this situation. So, and personally, I hope that the other sports get to play.
Right.
I hope that it does go through. Get these other kids out there, and if there's kids out there, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go try soccer. Well, as John was talking about, yeah, fire up, go do it.
Well, and if those other sports play too, even if you have a young man off your football team that doesn't play another sport, it does give them an opportunity to go support their classmates. As a spectator, as a member of a student section, and that would be good for kids too. I mean, it's not the same as playing. No one would dare say that, but it is an opportunity to feel like a kid connected to a sport and be a part of that sport as a spectator.
Exactly. That's one of the things, and I know a lot of coaches do that now, but it's like for us, one of the big things we do is like a team picnic, and parents and the kids, and we even do that, and that's kind of my thing is relationships with those guys and doing stuff like that, or going to Somerset, Camp Somerset, we didn't do that.
Right.
So I mean, it's already I just and we've already missed out on all that stuff. So hopefully it turns around, or we can be, hey, in the spring, we're like, oh, we can have a picnic, we can do this or that. And, it's just kind of stinks that those types of things for kids that don't always get all that, they're missing out. And so if they can go out and support support a teammate or a classmate, I should say, on a different team, I mean, great. More power to them to go do something more, I guess you might say, a regular life.
Right.
Well, and I think that, we kind of talked around here that, we thought high school might be the safest of any of them to be going back, because you're not bringing in kids from all over the country like some of these colleges are, where,
Right.
Dan, with his senior in your household, these kids have been hanging out all summer together. I mean, they've been together, and you seem like if there'd be big outbreaks, if there'd be stuff that it could have already happened in that, because they've been together so much as high schoolers in that same town. And that's why I thought that, high school had a better chance maybe than some of the college, just due to that fact that ever since they've been able to break quarantine and get out of the house, these kids have been together a lot.
Yep. And I know there's a lot of that. We were told to social distance at practice, social distance when you're coming in. Coaches were wearing masks, and we're going to do all that, all these things. And we did them all, and we're still not playing. So it's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow, when you're talking to these young men, and it's just like, we've done all this, but we're still going to be postponed for now. So but you're right. They've been around each other. They've been around. I mean, people at other people's houses with their parents there. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's again, it's just one of those unknown things, and you don't know what the heck's going to happen with it, and I guess we'll just see, and again, wait till kind of Wednesday for see what kind of the next step is possibly made, and as far as practices and and scheduling. And the other thing is too, like you said, and we're going to talk with Andy a lot about this coming up, but volleyball that can't even get in the gym, they're practicing outside. Adrian High, the swim team, they're at Bone Pool practicing, and so these sports want to move ahead, but as of right now, they can't even get in their gym or the pool
facilities
to move ahead.
Yeah, that's just, I know. I mean, if I really don't know. And if they're practicing at Bone Pool, what's the difference if they were in the high school gym?
Right.
Or, but, we don't make those decisions.
It's above your pay grade.
Yeah, above my pay grade, that's for sure.
Well, Dan, again, we appreciate your time and coming in this morning, and I know that moving forward, when we get some more different announcements, we can have you back on and kind of fill us in with some of these plans as well.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys.
No problem.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Dan Terryberry, the Onset High School football coach, and again, coming up in a couple minutes, we're going to have Andy Maines on, the athletic director for Adrian High School, to kind of fill us in with, kind of fill in the gaps a little bit with some of the other sports besides, the knowledge that Dan has on the football side, that there's a lot more moving parts out there with some of these other sports, and hopefully Andy can kind of help us through some of that.
Yes.
It's a different thing.
A lot of pieces to the jigsaw puzzle.
A lot. And we don't know what the heck's going to happen with them.
No, we don't.
We do not at all. But hey, we got a couple minutes here. You want to do one? We want to do winners or losers? We can do some losers right now.
Sure.
Okay. Got two minutes for losers.
Inside the Cave, 3 losers from the weekend.
Why? First loser, the Phoenix Suns.
Why? Oh, because they went 8-0.
They come into the bubble. They go
playoffs.
8-0. Do everything they need to do, and sorry, you didn't do enough. Even though we won every single game that we could win while we're there, and they still don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Feel bad for them.
Yeah. I have I don't know their first names, but Plesac and Clevenger of the Indians.
Zach and Mike.
Yeah,
they were my next one.
Losers but good for the Indians.
Oh yeah.
Losers because of what they did. Put their team and their teammates in a bad spot by sneaking out of the hotel and last weekend in Chicago. And I'm including them on my winners of this because they made them come to Detroit with the team, have an open meeting with the team. And I guess what you read is guys on the team basically let them know how unhappy in no uncertain terms and how they don't know if they can trust these guys anymore. And if you've ever been on a team and you play with guys you can't trust or girls you can't trust, that's not a good clubhouse.
No. So then they sent them back.
They made them get back in the car and drive back to wherever their training site is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So good for the Indians, but those guys, I mean.
Well, and you got to now know the next time that if they're not working with the Indians and they go somewhere else, they're still going to have trust issues in the locker room because this is going to follow them.
It sure will. For a while, anyways. They're going to have to prove themselves trustworthy again.
So they were my number 2.
Okay.
They're now you're number 2.
The Tigers swept at home by the Indians, 20 straight losses to the Indians. They got to get that turned around next weekend.
Yeah, I had them and the Suns at my 3A and B, so I just
kidding. You had a 3A and a B.
I know, that's why I didn't do it. But my biggest loser, just any high school and college athlete that can't play right now.
And mine was high school football in Michigan. And I said, it's temporary if we're able to have spring football.
Yep.
So, but right now, those kids and coaches and parents and fans are losing out.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All right.
Winners?
Well, let's do a quick winners, and then we can get Andy on.
Okay, sounds good. We got to go to commercial break, though, too.
We'll just do this real quick.
Okay.
And then we'll go to commercial break.
Inside the Cave, 3 winners from the weekend.
Alex Smith being cleared to play.
Okay. Adrian College football. Trying to get 4 or 5 games in this fall. Good for them.
That's right.
I hope it works. We don't know if it will or won't, but we hope it works.
Chase Elliott, big win for him. Another road course win, so congrats.
Jerry Kelly on the PGA Senior Tour wins the weekend tournament, collects a hole-in-one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hate it, but Cleveland with 20 wins over Detroit Tigers. I mean, that's, again, I hate it that it's Cleveland, but, man, if you can beat any team 20 straight times, you deserve some kudos.
Yeah. Mine, Alex Smith, you already said it. 17 surgeries since 2018 on his leg.
Yep.
And he's off the physically unable to perform or the PUP list. He'll be able to go into camp now with the Redskins or the Washington football team.
That's right, the Washington football team. All right, that's it. Let's take a timeout, and we're going to come back with Andy Maines, the athletic director from Adrian High, right after this as we're inside the Cave on 96.5 The Cave.
The big names, the big games. We get you the story inside the Cave. 96.5 The Cave.
Long Motor Sales in Tecumseh is asking for your help. Please do your part and wear a face mask while you're in public spaces. Do it for the kids, if not for yourself. We want our kids to be able to go back to school this fall. A friendly reminder that you can shop Long's current inventory online at longmotorsales.net.
New to the lot this week at Long Motor Sales. It's a black 2009 Chevy Trailblazer. This spacious SUV is the perfect affordable family car, loaded with 4-wheel drive, a towing package, and plenty of space for travel. Priced just right at $6,495. Stop in and tell Eric you want to take this car for a ride today.
If your vehicle needs an oil change or a major overhaul or repair, take it to Long's Automotive Service. Nathan Long has over 15 years of experience as a certified technician, giving you dealership quality service at a low price. Long Motor Sales and Long Automotive Service in Tecumseh. Long, a name you know and trust.
Hi, I'm Jim Nagypel.
And I'm Lisa Weddle, and we're the new owners of Nago Heating and Cooling.
I've been away for a while, but I'm excited to be back.
That's right. We're thrilled to offer Jim's extensive experience in heating, cooling, and plumbing back to this community.
We'll continue to service all brands of heating and cooling units, but we proudly sell Lennox, and we are your local Carrier dealer.
Please visit us at 1108 West Chicago Boulevard in Tecumseh, or give us a call at 423-3121.
Life as a farmer has many sides. That's why we work with Nationwide, the #1 farm insurer, to help farmers and ranchers stay profitable and protected. With Nationwide, you can feel confident you're getting coverage that fits your operations needs. Find out how to help protect your farm or ranch. Call us today.
D.S. Johnson and Associates, located in Adrian, Morenci, and Monroe. Give them a call today at 517-263-2582.
For your many sides, there's Nationwide. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review and approval. Products and discounts not available to all persons in all states.
We are so grateful to our local heroes, those serving our community every day, to the people working at our grocery stores. We are encouraged by your bravery as you keep our homes stocked with food. To our first responders, how we are grateful for your courage when you come to the need of our community. To our medical personnel and their support teams, working on the front lines to combat this deadly virus. Words are not enough to express our gratitude. So as a community, let us join together while keeping appropriate social distancing and tell our local heroes how much we love and appreciate their sacrifice and the sacrifices of their loved ones. May God's mighty hand protect and guide each of you during these uncertain times.
This message is brought to you by 3-Dimensional Physical Therapy, 3DPT, because people matter.
At DNP Communications, we value our community partnerships by ensuring when you work with us, you'll have the means to operate your business at peak functionality. Now, for a limited time, new customers can take advantage of our summer business bundle and get 175 meg internet connection paired with one business class phone line for $124.95 per month. DNP Communications, connecting you to what matters most.
With our 8-year track record of teaching success through Tecumseh Virtual Academy, we are prepared to educate your students. Hundreds of students have taken core subjects and AP classes and gone on to graduate while participating in the TVA Dynamic Learning Community. This year, crossover options are available for in-class and online learning. With equipment and our experienced support staff provided, we invite you to contact Tecumseh Virtual Academy to explore your students' options. Go to TVA Tecumseh online or find our link on WLEN.com.
We all know that Salsarias has fantastic authentic Mexican dishes like the signature Baja chicken salad and the queso blanco. What you might not know is they do catering platters for offices, schools, and events that they will deliver. Holy guacamole! Salsarias is open Monday through Saturday at 11 a.m. for inside and patio dining as well as for carryout. Find specials on Facebook. Call 423-0018 to order or come in and enjoy a beverage from their full bar along with a great lunch or dinner in downtown Tecumseh at Salsarias.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle on Inside the Cave. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 96.5 FM. We give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports. Interview area coaches and players. And get you ready to start your day.
Sweet, man.
Grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave. Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
And welcome back Inside the Cave. Jeff Bowman, John Roberts here with you.
You're awful.
We also have a special guest with us today. Second special guest of the day. Andy Maines, the athletic director at Adrian High School. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, John and Jeff. Thank you for having me today.
No problem.
Thanks
Appreciate
for being with us.
Well, this is some different times. I know we just talked, a little bit with Dan Terryberry on the football side of it, but there's a lot more going on than just football, Andy, and I know that's where you're really going to have to kind of put things together with the sports that are still possibly looming out there for you guys to play. And I know it's going to be busy time for you.
Yeah, that's correct. I think it was about a week or two ago that the MHSA came out with, new regulations, and we lost 6 or 8 volleyball tournaments this year where you can, typically they had 10, 12, 20 teams in them. Now the limit's 4. Most cross-country invitationals have been canceled in the state, and so we're redoing those schedules right now as we go through. But it's definitely a trying time, but we want to make sure we make the best of it and help ensure our kids get the best season that they can.
Yeah, again, and it's, right now we're looking at the fact that, football, they postpone it, but they're saying everything else can still stay as planned as of right now, with the exception of your volleyball are practicing outside and your swimmers are swimming outside because they can't get in their facilities. So, do you think when MHSA makes that decision that maybe there's some talk with Lansing knowing what's going ahead since they decide to pull the plug on football but still keep the other sports going?
And that's a tough thing to say. When we had a Zoom meeting Friday night and Mark Ewell was leading it with all the athletic directors in the state, he was very emotional with kind of the decision to postpone football for this year. And they've been adamant from the beginning about trying to keep all these sports together. But, as we get closer, this weekend is supposed to be some of the first volleyball tournaments and things like that. I'm just hoping that the governor opens it up or gives us more guidance so that we can kind of move forward. Because, we got swimming outside, volleyball practicing outside. We're hoping to know for sure what we can do.
Well, and we're definitely fortunate compared to a lot of other schools around the state, Andy, that have swim and dive teams in the fact that we have an outdoor pool, a competitive pool in our community. And, so from that regard, we're pretty fortunate here in Adrian.
Absolutely. We're blessed with Bone Pool and the kind of partnership that we have with them that they're allowing us to use that and to get our swimmers some swim time in there.
Yeah, a lot of other swim programs are doing a lot of dry land training, more cardiovascular conditioning as opposed to stroke work right now. And, so that's a real benefit for us. But, you mentioned the volleyball tournaments and the cross-country invitationals being canceled. Obviously one of the first casualties on the cross-country scene was the county preview meet. That would have been coming up here, I believe, next weekend, or would it have been last Saturday?
I think it would be this weekend.
Okay.
And that one was canceled. Just with, we're supposed to get word on Thursday about spectator limits. There's been numbers that have been floated around for inside and outside and things like that. But just with some of the uncertainty and then with some of these dates coming up this weekend, a lot of people have kind of taken a step back and adjusted it. And so we're looking forward. We're supposed to know at the beginning of this week, Mark told us, from the governor about opening up gyms and pools. We're supposed to know about Wednesday how they're going to readdress all the sports seasons. For possibly a second spring season, and then hopefully on Thursday we can know about spectator limits and make some changes and get the ball rolling for this fall for everything that's able to still go on.
Sure, and that having sat in your chair, almost quite literally, just the uncertainty. You have nothing to tell coaches, you have nothing to tell kids, you have nothing to tell parents, and that's just, I think that's got to be probably the biggest frustration is you don't have answers when you want to have answers.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you there. And we were notified of the cancellation of football Friday night about 4 o'clock. The press release kind of went out about 4:15.
Yeah.
And then we had a Zoom meeting at 5:30. And, it's tough. I'm appreciative for the work that the MHSA and Mark Ewell are doing so that our football kids can still have a season this spring. And it's something that, I've kind of taken from our conversations with you over the last year in this position is that, there's a silver lining for this. Some of these kids right here are going to be able to play 4 sports. They can try out cross-country, soccer, tennis. But, we're thankful that, we still get to have the football season in the spring.
Sure.
The marching band can still be there. The cheerleaders can be there. And hopefully, at that time, we can have more spectators so that the parents and fans can be there as well.
Well, and Andy, you mentioned the football players maybe could try a different sport to stay active this fall, but the converse of that could conceivably be true with a separate football season in the spring as well. If you're a soccer kid and maybe you've never played football, but I might give it a try now. And especially with the younger ages, or a kid who plays tennis might decide to play football. Back in the day when tennis was a spring sport, we used to have 3, 4, 5, 6 football players that was their spring sport because they weren't baseball players. They didn't want to run track, so they played tennis to stay active. And actually, a lot of them were pretty good tennis players because they were good athletes. So, there's some opportunities there that normally won't be there and probably won't be there again after this year. So, it's probably a small consolation to a lot of people, but it's one way to try and pull something positive out of this situation.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, John.
Well, and Andy, going back to what you were saying with, having the football in spring and, hopefully having the cheerleaders, the band and everything. And I think that's such a big part of Friday Night Football is not only, the guys getting able to play, but the whole, it's an event.
The atmosphere.
You can have the crowd, you can have the fans, you can have the band, the cheerleaders, as John said. It's the atmosphere of it. I mean, it would be great if, the kids could play on Friday nights and just because that's in their season. But again, there's more to it. And if you can have the whole Friday night experience and just do it in the spring where everybody can kind of participate in it, I think that's probably, a better way to go too.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Some of the conversations over the last couple of weeks just didn't feel right because we were having, the conversations of, all right, if we're only allowed 100 people or 250 people in the stands, how do we decide who gets those tickets? And of course, you want to go with the parents, but when you're laying all that out, it just doesn't feel right because you're talking no band or a smaller band, or you're talking possibly no cheerleaders or their parents. It just doesn't have that feeling of a Friday night light. The community there supporting their team, cheering them on. And so, it's that hope that maybe by springtime, there can be some more, maybe a vaccine possibility or some more precautions in place. Our knowledge will get better, that we're able to have, more fans in the stands, all those people there, and we can still give those seniors that opportunity to have that feeling again one more time before they graduate.
So just to kind of recap, Andy, with these other sports, we're probably going to know a little bit more on the status of say, volleyball and soccer and swim and dive, maybe end of the week here, you think?
Yeah, when we had talked to Mark Ewell, the executive director from the MHSAA, he said he's expecting guidance from the governor early this week.
Okay.
So hopefully today, tomorrow, we can know that. Wednesday, we'll know, the dates for all of the seasons now that football has been moved. And then hopefully by Thursday we can know spectator limits for this fall for the cross country and volleyball and all those meets.
Just one more thing from me. I know I had a conversation with Jordan Kelly, the Adrian basketball coach, late last week. Any talk about shortening the number of contests in other sports to make this fit that you've heard?
There have been some conversations throughout the year, none of it directly from the MHSAA, but just conversations through athletic directors about, possibly, shortening the basketball season, still keeping them at 20 games or maybe going down to 18. But the basketball season, the winter season in general, just has some extra time in there about maybe squishing those in. Starting, the football season in late February, early March, let them run March, April, May, and then do your spring kind of May, June, July. But, those have all just been kind of rumors and talks between everybody. Nothing's come from the MHSAA yet.
So it sounds, even winter, you may have more events over those vacations that fall during winter, quite possibly.
Yeah, yep.
So, not unusual to play some basketball or have wrestling meets over the winter season, over, say, Christmas break, but we may see even more sports doing that than normal. So, interesting.
Yeah, and as we said with talking with Coach Terryberry, and I use the word patience, and I think that's one thing that is going to have to be used quite a bit, just because of there's still, as much as we want to think we know what's going forward, there's still so many unanswered questions, and there's still so many moving parts that we're going to have to be patient with everything that's going on because we still don't know exactly what it is.
No, and I couldn't agree more with that either. It's definitely you take a day at a time and you address each issue as you can. We know that we want to get back in school for these kids, and we want to have, some athletic opportunities for them. But we're also going to take the guidance and the direction that the MHSAA and the school district give us and make sure that it's as safe as possible for our student athletes.
Yeah, I just think, patience, obviously, but flexibility is going to be key on everyone's part down the road as well. Because it's quite possible that nothing will look the same going forward after this week.
Yeah, absolutely agree to that. And we'll make sure that as we get direction from the MHSAA and from the governor about how sports are going to proceed, that we work to make sure that it's the best opportunity we can for our students and make sure that we give them an experience for the 2021 school year.
Yeah, Andy, that's again, just kind of, I think the guidance and transparency. Once you figure things out and once somebody knows, get it out there as quick and as accessible so everybody kind of can stay on that same page. I think that's going to be one of the big things is communication moving forward. So everybody is kind of up to date and knows what's going on.
Absolutely, and that's been something that I give credit to for the MHSAA and Mark Ewell, that they're constantly pushing information out, and we try to push that out as well on our end from Facebook and social media and things like that, so that the parents are informed. And once we do that, we'll get questions and calls, and we try to answer them as best as we can. But we're not hiding anything. Everybody wants to play this year. It's just making sure that our student athletes and students and children are all safe as we proceed.
Okay. Well, hey, Andy, we got to head to a commercial. Want to thank you for being on with us this morning, giving us an update on, a little bit on football, but also those other fall sports that, we don't often touch on as much as football.
Absolutely. Thank you both, John and Jeff, for having me.
All right. Andy Maines, athletic director at Adrian High School. We're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, and we'll be back right after these messages inside the Cave, 96.5 FM, 96.5, thecave.com.
96.5 The Cave.
Hi, this is Dennis from Abbey Carpet and Floor, and it's easier than ever to tap into the convenience of smart home technology during the Hunter Douglas Smart Shade Savings Event that's going on now through September 7th. Enjoy valuable rebates starting at $150 on qualifying purchases of Hunter Douglas motorized shades like insulating duet honeycomb shades or dramatic pirouette window shades or the revolutionary Sonnet cellular roller shades, all equipped with the advanced wireless technology of PowerView motorization. Using this smart technology, the associated smart hub, and the mobile devices you use every day, you can easily program your motorized shades to move automatically to the scenes and schedules you set. Plus, PowerView integrates easily with some of the most popular home automation systems, intelligent shades, and smart savings. Connect with rebates now through September 7th. Limitations and restrictions apply, so ask us for details. Abbey Carpet and Floor, America's choice in floor fashion since 1958.
We invite you to explore the exceptional learning experience available for all K-12 students at Tecumseh Virtual Academy. The TVA's online learning platforms provide students with the flexibility to learn at their own level, anywhere, anytime, and be aligned with state requirements. With equipment and our experienced support staff provided and an 8-year track record of success, we invite you to contact Tecumseh Virtual Academy to explore your students' options. Go to TVA Tecumseh online or find our link on WLEN.com.
Is your asphalt driveway cracking? Does it need maintenance? After years of wear and tear, this is Rocky from K&B Asphalt Paving and Seal Coating. We do seal coating, hot rubber crack filling, and unlike others, we also do our own striping, patching, and paving. We are your one-stop shop for all your driveway and parking lot needs. We have 25 years of expertise and are fully insured for commercial and residential work. Visit us online or call 264-2541 for more information. At K&B Asphalt, we pledge to keep our customers satisfied by providing expert service with quality materials at a competitive price.
ProMed Uniform is celebrating 25 years of business. ProMed Uniform's commitment to Lenawee County's healthcare, EMS, police, and fire personnel has always been a top priority. On sale now, in-stock 511 tactical pants, 10% off. ProMed has an extensive inventory of medical scrubs, Barco, Grey's Anatomy, and Wonder Wing all in stock. All scrubs are currently 20% off their already low prices. ProMed Uniform will match or beat any competitor's price, including websites or catalogs. medical, fire, EMS, and restaurant attire. Check them out on Facebook and at 937 West Beecher in Adrian.
You'll hit a home run every time with Hayes Insurance Agency.
Their team of independent agents will cover all the bases
And find you the right policy at the best price.
for your car, your home, your business, whatever you need.
Hayes Insurance, serving residents of Lenawee County and beyond for over a half-century.
Call 517-423-8316
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
or visit HayesINS.com. In 1968, Tigers great Jim Northrup hit 2 grand slams in one game.
And ever since, the Hayes Insurance Agency has been hitting grand slams for all its customers in Lenawee County and beyond.
For your car, your home, your farm, your business, count on Hayes Insurance Agency.
On Occidental Highway between Adrian and Tecumseh.
Call 517-423-8316
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
or visit HayesINS.com.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle on Inside the Cave. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 96.5 FM. We give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports. Interview area coaches and players and get you ready to start your day.
Sweet, man.
Grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave. Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
And welcome back Inside the Cave. Jeff Bowman, John Roberts here with you on a Monday morning. Jeff is busily working while I talk over there.
That's right.
Getting stuff done.
Well, what do we do? We're breaking it down, and we're waking you up, and we're getting it done.
And waking you up. There you go.
See, there we go.
Speaking of getting things done and finishing, we're
on the home stretch.
We are heading into the last week of the Lenawee Virtual Diamond League playoffs. That's where we need that Jim Mora playoffs.
There you go, exactly.
So,
yes, it's a
finished the regular season on Saturday.
Yep.
And the seeding committee met.
Yes,
the
we
playoff
did.
seeding committee met.
Yes, we did.
And determined who our playoff field was. And
we had to go into some interesting.
We had to get into the tiebreakers a little bit to determine a division champion, some seeding among the division champions, and then our wild card.
Yeah.
So a lot closer than we anticipated maybe when we started this thing back in June.
Well, and especially the wild card came out of a place that we did not think was going to happen out of the Cave division.
No. And our wild card, and therefore the number 4 seed in the playoff this week, will be the Madison Trojans.
Yep.
They will be facing off tomorrow night at 6 p.m., and I believe you and I are on the call for that game.
We are.
Versus the number 1 seed, the Clinton Redskins, the Clinton virtual team.
And they split during the year.
And they did split. So
Madison beat them just last week in extra innings to be able to get
into the
this.
wild card
Yes.
conversation.
Yep.
And Madison, that was a must-win game to possibly win the Cave division. And the Cave division came down to tiebreakers, and the tiebreakers fell in favor of Morenci. So they're going to be the number 2 seed, and they're going to take on the IAD Insurance Division champion Tecumseh Indians on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. And then our championship game will be the winners of those 2 games on Saturday at 2 p.m. So,
that was
bringing the Diamond League to a close this week.
And it was interesting. I mean, Blissfield was able to get off the schneid, get a win last week, so that was a good, it was a good week for them.
Yes.
And again, a good week for, Madison having that extra inning win.
Mm-hmm.
And then Morenci had to come back and knock off
1-0
Hudson.
win over Hudson.
Yeah, so
tight game.
There was some the stuff came down to, that last weekend, and it was awesome for us to get that done and have it break it down to that last game.
It came. Every game mattered right till the last game.
And we thought for sure, well, here, here's where the wild card's going to be. But then the way Madison and Morenci finished out, Onstead was in that tiebreaker with them. They were 5-3.
And
but
with the tiebreakers, they got bumped by Madison.
Yep.
So
and then again, also, Morenci able to move up into that number 2 seed because that Tecumseh lost last week, and then we had to break that down because they had the exact record. So trying to figure out who the 2 or 3 seed was going to be, and having to go down into the tiebreakers for that, and so
and you brought up Blissfield. They defeated Tecumseh, which probably cost Tecumseh the 2 seed.
They did.
They ended up being the 3 seed.
Yep.
And
that's exactly it.
Every game that last week had playoff implications just about, and
Well, yeah, because Onstead was the other 5-3 team that got bumped down, and Hudson was sitting there. If Hudson would have won, they would have been bumped out because Onstead beat them twice.
Right.
And so, even if Hudson had to beat Morenci, so it was really weird how we just kind of threw these tiebreaker things out and kind of threw it, and they really kind of worked out to how it needed to be. So. It was fun.
Well, the tiebreakers always work out, Jeff, because your very last tiebreaker is always just a coin flip.
Yes.
We did not get that far. It
No.
did not come
It was not
Friday Night Lights
exactly.
and flipping a coin to see who's in the playoffs. It did not get that far. But we went down a couple tiebreakers before we were able to make some decisions.
Yes, we were, there was math involved.
And not a lot of good mathematicians.
Exactly.
Thankfully, it was adding and subtracting.
That was all we needed.
Yeah, we didn't need any algebra or geometry because we'd have had to call in scientists to help us at that point.
Yeah, and that's not good at any.
No. That costs more money out of the budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not.
That was not in the budget. No, we do not have NASA help.
No, we do not
in the budget.
We do not. But again, it's so stay tuned this week. Again, as we have got the games Tuesday, Wednesday are the first round, and then Saturday is the championship. So we're making it simple. We're not having these long series. Just trying to get her done, and that was the whole object, was to be able to do this for the summer, kind of take us into the fall sports season. And so, that's definitely fit the bill for that. I mean, we've had, being virtual, but we've had people wondering where the stadium was at. So I guess we've been doing a good enough job, basically, to have people interested in where we're at. But again, we're also, I've talked to some of the players that are playing in it and some other people that have enjoyed it. And so, for something that was kind of just done because we didn't have spring sports on the air, and no Tigers at that time, or there was no sports basically,
no sports,
no
really.
live sports at that time, and we were able to kind of fill that void, so to speak, and it's been fun to be able to do it, and again, it's been fun to hear a lot of the feedback with it, and we appreciate that as well. And so, hopefully there's more things that are on the horizon.
Well, and hopefully real sports will continue, because obviously while we had fun with the virtual league, and I think everybody prefers real sports to talk about.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But you have to make do with.
Yes, we did
with what you have available.
Yes.
And so we're able to
try to make
done.
the best of a rough situation.
So again, thank you for that. Hey, some other things over the weekend, kind of again Corona related, is Tuukka Rask.
Yeah,
I mean, we were talking some hockey
Boston
a little
Bruins
bit earlier,
goalie.
but all of a sudden. You're in the bubble.
Have been in the bubble,
and there's been nothing going on, or sicknesses, or anything positive tests with inside the bubble. But Saturday morning, prior to them, they had a noon game.
Yeah, they played yesterday or Saturday.
Saturday at noon, and about 10:30ish. the reports coming out that Tuukka Rask is going to opt out of the season. And leave the bubble and go home.
I mean, and they're, obviously a pretty strong contender to at least come out of the East and maybe play in the Stanley Cup Finals.
That was just a very, very, the timing of it all was really kind of just strange. Said he opted out due to a family emergency, but now everything is fine. So, I don't know if he can come back at all. Said it was a family emergency.
Yeah, maybe he can. He's probably going to have to quarantine, though, is the problem.
Yeah.
So if he's got to sit out a couple weeks through quarantine, I suppose they're still going to be playing. Those playoffs tend to stretch for about a month.
Let me see. He knows there's a protocol for players being able to leave the bubble and return, but it is not clear why Rask is not choosing to do so. So he's not even going to come back.
And, it's his family's issue, and so I think there's got to be a level of respecting his privacy. I mean, but, man, just the timing of it.
Yeah, and it does say that his teammates, his former teammates saying he talked with Tuukka and he said he would have left too because of what was happening. I know I did hear when all this stuff was kind of going on in the beginning, that I think that he had just had a baby possibly and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that's just again, the timing of it all was very interesting to all of a sudden have that happen. So,
yeah. Hey, one thing that just popped up on kind of the social media feed here is, and I really hadn't thought about this much, but, we've talked a lot about how all these decisions are impacting high school sports.
Right.
We really haven't talked about middle school sports, and I know that's not a huge focus for it, but really hadn't thought about, now there's going to be no middle school football.
Right.
This fall at least. Will they play middle school football in the spring? In some ways, that might be a little bit easier because I know, at least in Adrian, the only middle school sport we offer is track. So that might work a little easier, actually, than it will at the high school level.
Yeah, in the spring.
Spring.
Right,
so,
that's for sure.
Interesting.
All right, well, again, good show. It's going to be, I believe, the Odd Couple tomorrow morning.
Yes.
So they'll be tune in for that. Yep. And again, tomorrow night will be the first playoff game with Clinton and Madison in virtual Diamond League action. So, again, good show this morning. I want to thank both Andy Maines and Dan Terryberry for coming in and giving us some of their insight. So, once again, thank you very much to them.
Here's the play. If you wear any kind of screen-printed item, go to ProMed Uniform and get your company logo, school spirit wear, fundraiser events, family reunions, any screen printing needs. If you need custom embroidery, go to ProMed Uniform and get your varsity jacket, company logo, corporate apparel, or just that special embroidered item. Score! Let's repeat that play. Nobody can beat it. ProMed Uniform is Lenawee County's premier embroidery and screen printing destination. All screen printing and embroidery is done in-house. ProMed Uniform is where quality work and the best pricing in Lenawee County come together. Please support local businesses and shop ProMed Uniform for all your screen printing and embroidering needs. T-shirts, varsity jackets, corporate apparel, screen printing, embroidery. ProMed Uniform, 937 West Beecher in Adrian.
Get your vehicle in shape for the summer with a complete cleanup at Beecher Street Car Wash and Auto Detailing. They will clean your vehicle inside and out. They offer detailing services like interior shampoo, hand wax, and buffing. Their expert staff will make your car, SUV, or van sparkle. They even do boats, RVs, and semis. Gift certificates available. Beecher Street Car Wash and Auto Detailing is open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. till 7 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Ask about their monthly membership and their annual memberships. They're located on West Beecher Street next to Barrett's.
ProMed Uniform is celebrating 25 years of business. ProMed Uniform's commitment to Lenawee County's healthcare, EMS, police, and fire personnel has always been a top priority. On sale now, in stock 511 tactical pants, 10% off. ProMed has an extensive inventory of medical scrubs, Barco, Grey's Anatomy, and Wonder Wing all in stock. All scrubs are currently 20% off their already low prices. ProMed Uniform will match or beat any competitor's price, including websites or catalogs. medical, fire, EMS, and restaurant attire. Check them out on Facebook and at 937 West Beecher in Adrian.
Summer bundles now available at D&P Communications. New customers get a 250 meg internet connection paired with D&P Connect Pro, the most complete whole home Wi-Fi experience available, for only $59.90 per month. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees not included. Some restrictions may apply. Service not available in all areas. Superior service, exceptional results. D&P Communications.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle on Inside the Cave. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 96.5 FM. We give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports. Interview area coaches and players and get you ready to start your day.
Sweet, man.
Grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave. Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
The best in regional sports from Southeast Michigan. WLEN Adrian, HD2, W243AD, 96.5 The Cave.
96.5 The Cave. Lenawee County Sports.